Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Call me stupid, I deserve it. I just got home from being catfished by the same guy who catfished me 6 fucking years ago. And you know what? Never again. I saved his address to my phone as Catfish, and I am never driving a 1-hour round trip to and from that cursed place again. But before I get into the fishy details of this nightmare rendezvous, let me take it from the top. Back when I was freshly new to the gay dating scene, at the ripe age of 25, yeah, I know, I'm a boomer, I'd been messaging this Asian guy on Grindr. We agreed to hook up that Sunday afternoon, and he had really attractive photos, so I felt it was worth it to drive up to him. But when I got there, the door to his house was just oddly creaked open. Confused, I messaged him, and he said to just come up. First red flag, but hey, he's a cute guy and he was able to host. Stupid me went up to his room, and there he was just lying in his bed. And when I saw him, I immediately knew he was not the same person in the photos. I was stunned, not sure what to do. But he quickly engaged me with questions about where I was from and other details. His profile advertised a cute face, cut abs, and toned body, but the guy in front of me did not have those. He seemed kind of sloppy, with his butt crack hanging out of his basketball shorts. I said I needed to pee and went to the bathroom to think about what I was going to do. And, the freshly used condom in the trash bin did not help. But, quick pause, there are 2 things that are very different about me back then that you have to know. 1, I didn't have much practice saying no to people yet. And 2, I was letting my little guy down there do too much of the thinking. Driving all the way up there was an already sunk cost, which I know I should not have factored into my decision making, but I was, well, too horny, and I was expecting to get off. So, as embarrassed as I am to say, I agreed to let the guy give me a hand. I noticed a security camera in the corner of the room and told him no recording. He said it wasn't on, and I knew he was probably lying, but I just didn't care anymore. I kept my shirt on, let him finish the job, and went on my way. I felt gross, deceived, annoyed, and anxious, and that house was seared into my mind as a terrible place that I will never return to. And yet, little did I realize that all it took was time and new catfish photos to get me to make the same mistake. Just a few days ago on Jacked, I saw that a beautifully abbed torso viewed my profile. I immediately tapped in to see a 6-foot-tall, beautiful, muscular Asian guy with a cute smile. I tried to see if he was down for some fun, and after a few days of trying to find the time, he said he was free tonight. Yes, I'm documenting this the same night it happened. He messaged me saying that he was a little tipsy and asked if that was okay. I said it was fine and went on my way. Driving and parking into that cul-de-sac immediately reminded me of the house from 6 years ago, but I thought, that house seemed more new, and I think it was positioned a bit differently, giving myself the benefit of the doubt. I messaged him, just parked, should I go to the door? No response. I waited a few minutes and slowly walked toward the door. It was open. Oh no. I inched forward to peer in, and I was absolutely fucking right. It was the same house. I remember the exact layout. The white couch, the white marble floors, and the stairway overlooking the entrance area. I messaged him, your door's open, lol, wondering if he would respond. I know, why didn't I just go home? Well, I think I was just curious at this point. Could there somehow be a hot guy in there? I don't know. There are possible reasons, like a new tenant, the catfish's new housemate, or maybe a friend visiting. Or maybe for some impossible reason, this wasn't the same house. I waited to see if anyone was coming down. I heard a few creaking noises, but didn't see anything. I peered my head in a bit more and saw a guy on his phone. He looked over and said, "Oh hey, are you here to see my roommate?" "Oh, yeah," I replied. Seemed like his quote-unquote roommate had a lot of similar-looking visitors. "Oh, does he know you're coming?" he asked. I said yes, wondering how far he'd carry the charade. He took me upstairs to the exact room where I was duped 6 years ago, and the bathroom door was closed with the lights on. He sat on the bed trying to make conversation with me, saying that his roommate was a bit drunk and was in the bathroom. I knew there was probably no one in the bathroom, and I knew this was the same guy. Even though I couldn't be sure if he had the same face or voice, that butt crack leaking out of his pants was a dead giveaway. I asked, "Is this your housemate's room?" He said, "Yes," as he continued just casually sitting on his bed, not knowing I knew it was his room. I waited a few seconds, looked at my phone to see no new messages, and just said I was leaving. I was 6 years older, 6 years wiser, and now I'm ready to say no to anything I don't remotely feel like doing. I got in my car, saved his damn address as Catfish, and drove home, ready to make a video about this and remind myself to check for more red flags on profiles in the future, no matter how good looking they are. Fuck. But I'll be honest, there were a few indicators that made me think he was real. His profile had a short write-up explaining that just because he chats with someone doesn't mean he wants to hook up with them. Usually Catfish will want to bait more people, so writing something like that seemed to do the opposite. Second, he didn't initiate or even show initial interest in hooking up. He just said he was on the app to, quote, check messages and see what people are up to. Well played, Catfish. You got me again. His reverse psychology of creating an illusion of unavailability and inflated value was perfectly combined with the curated fake photos of a side profile and torso, cropped to cut out the head. Exactly how a true, discreet, attractive gay would set up his profile. Funny thing is, he still continued messaging me after I left, saying that he had just finished puking and was now over his hangover, ready to have some fun again. Ha! Seriously? You think I'm gonna go back? The messages were just even more proof that he was pretending to be the roommate. Since he saw me in real life and knew I was real, he was just trying to get me to go back. But what I don't get is why? I already didn't show interest in him pretending to be the roommate. What was he gonna do if I went back? Or maybe his follow-up scheme was to ask if I thought the roommate was cute, and if we do a threesome, only to have him, aka the roommate, be there. Well, I'll never know, because I'm never going to respond again. I have zero interest in directly giving him any more attention, and his address is forever blacklisted in my phone and memory. Usually, fake profiles have obvious red flags, asking for too much personal information or being suspiciously eager. But if you're a gay guy who wants to have some fun here and there, you might encounter a slightly more sophisticated catfish than this scumbag. And if you do, be prepared to say no and leave. Don't worry about their feelings, don't worry about awkwardness, don't play into their bait and switch. But what about you? Any catfish stories? Because I have quite a few more. But hey, I also have a few stories where the guys ended up way hotter in person. So, I guess you win some, you lose some? Either way, if you made it this far and enjoyed the video, please hit that like, subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss future videos. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.